So, there's going to be 5 games this midweek, and I'm going to try to do as quickly as possible, as one of my backpack just dropped in the background. But yeah, I'm going to do this as quick as possible because I have a project that is due tomorrow. Yay! That sounds fun, isn't it? Not really, to be fair. But yeah, let's begin. So, probably this one might be the one that a lot of people are kind of excited in a way, because it's the rematch of last year's MLS Cup, and it's also the rematch of the previous year of the MLS Cups. And, you know, for me, I'm not really kind of looking forward to this match, because really both of these teams coming into this game are just, they're on a different direction. TFC right now are just started to try to get themselves hot again so they can make up for their bad start that they had, because they were pretty much just committed fully on CONCACAF Champions League. While Seattle were kind of doing the same thing, and they were battling injury, but now it seemed like even when they got injuries, that is not a problem anymore, and getting guys back, this team still sucks right now. And it feels like rock bottom right now for the Sounders, and certainly started to try to redeem and get themselves back up to where they belong, and that of course is TFC in the Eastern Conference right now. So yeah, that's why I'm not really kind of looking forward to this match. I think TFC should win this one pretty easily. I mean, Seattle definitely is going to try to do their best to try to shut down TFC, but there's just so many things that is favorite TFC in this match. 1, they are playing at home. 2, Seattle has to travel all the way to BMO Field to play this game on a midweek, which usually when a team travel all the way across the other side of the country for a midweek game, usually that team does not get a resort. And 3, as I was saying, TFC is on the high and Seattle is just on the low, and they just have no confidence right now. Like, this team can... Seattle, one thing that Seattle has done good is that they've been doing good in terms of defending. I think they have conceded like 2 goals in the last couple of matches, but the bottom line is, if you don't score, you are not going to win any game, and that is the problem right now for Seattle. So I expect TFC to win this, but getting to the match that I'm actually looking forward to, and by the way, all these matches, did I also mention the fact that I'm not going to watch any of these? And the reason why that is the case is because tomorrow I got to do a Sports Hop series, and yeah, unfortunately I'm not going to do that. And also the fact that I'm going to do the review show on Thursday instead of Wednesday, because most likely I will not have time to do it on Wednesday. Remember, Thursday I have to wake up early to go to school, so there's no chance for me to watch all these condensed scan and do a review. I mean, I would be it would take probably right around midnight before I get a chance to go to sleep, which means I'm only gonna get 6 hours of sleep if I do that. But yeah, talking about this game, the one that I'm actually looking forward to, but unfortunately I cannot watch, is the Atlanta versus Sporting KC game, because this is really the best in the West versus the best in the East. Both of these teams are in the top of their respective conference. Atlanta is just absolutely untouchable right now in the league, and probably the hottest team right now that is not named Orlando City with 8-game winning streak. While Sporting KC are building themselves a little bit of a gap between first and second, and certainly they look like they're running away with the Western Conference right now. But for me, I think if you look at this match, I think Atlanta certainly is favorite in this, mainly because I just feel like, once again, Sporting KC had to travel to the East Coast for a midweek game, and although Sporting KC does not have as big of a travel as Seattle will have, it's still a bit of a travel. And also, did I mention the fact that since, if you look at all the East versus West kind of matchup this season, all these kind of inter-conference kind of matchup, the Eastern Conference team always win those. Like, I think it was like 8 out of 10 so far this season in these inter-conference matchup that the Eastern Conference has won. The East is just so much better than the West right now, and it's pretty much like deja vu all over again, like last year, where the East just by far the more dominant side. And with Atlanta also being at home, a place that they just look absolutely untouchable this season, and pretty much just putting on a show for their fans every single game by scoring like 3 or 4 goals in a game. Yeah, it's going to be a tough task for Sporting KC. And keep in mind, Sporting KC already faced a team that were already around the top 3 area of the Eastern Conference, and that was NYCFC in the beginning of the season. I think it was the first game of the season, and they lost that one. And they lost that one at home too. So my bet is definitely on Atlanta, and secretly I kind of am rooting for Atlanta in this, even though I kind of want the Western Conference to do well. I just don't want the big collision matchup on Saturday between Atlanta versus Orlando to be one that it's like, yeah, it's not really a game where two of the most hottest team is facing each other, because one of them team took a loss against Sporting KC and stuff like that. So yeah, please Atlanta, do not let me down, and please, hopefully you can get a win so that we're gonna have that just huge clash on Sunday between Atlanta versus Orlando, down in Orlando City Stadium. But next up, and pretty much these two games are probably the one that I'm going to talk a lot, because these next couple of games, yeah, these are the one that you probably won't care unless you're the team that involved in these 3 matchups. I mean, Columbus versus Philly, I think Columbus should win this, because Philly, the last game against Toronto was a big reminder that they are not a good team. And this team just, once again, shown in that last game against Toronto, cannot put crucial chances away. And they are just not good at all this season on the road. And Columbus, even though they drew 0-0 to a struggling Seattle Sounder team, you got to remember that they were down to 10 men for a majority of that game. And they probably could have got a winner in that game if Jarzy Zardes doesn't take like 5 chances to finally put one into the back of the net for Columbus. But I'm assuming Columbus should win this one very easily against a struggling Union team that is just, they look lost right now. And then this matchup, this is a very interesting matchup, because in some way I kind of would want to say this is kind of like a sad kind of matchup, because both of these teams are kind of like right around that area in the Eastern Conference that is just kind of like the mediocre spot. And right now, if you look at Montreal, who I believe are currently 7th in the standing, they're now 4 points behind the team that is currently 6th in the standing, which is New England. So there's a big gap between the team above in the red line in the Eastern Conference and the team that is below that red line. And I just have a feeling that Chicago and Montreal, and if you look at all the teams so far in the Eastern Conference, these two teams kind of belong in the group of just potentially not going to make the playoffs. I mean, the Eastern Conference right now have potentially now 6 teams that definitely is going to potentially make the playoffs, and maybe even 7 teams this season once TFC gets back on track. And one good team in the Eastern Conference is going to miss out, and unfortunately these 2 teams are not part of those 7 teams. And even if one of these teams win, it doesn't really do much in terms of saying that they can potentially start a good run, because Montreal so far this season, there have been times they look good, there have been times that they just look god-awful. And Chicago this season, even though they're playing at home, they have lost a lot of home games this season. And part of that has to do with the fact that they had a lot of tough opponents, but still, they lost a lot of home games, they dropped way too much points at home, and I just don't trust the fact that they can get a result over Montreal that is probably in a pretty good confidence after the victory against New England and the Ignacio Piatti show, which I'm assuming he'll probably put on that same show against the Fire. But really, for me, I don't know who's gonna win this, but one thing I will know is whoever wins this doesn't really help them at all in terms of maybe get into that bubble of just maybe contending for the playoff position in the Eastern Conference. And finally, this one, LAFC versus Minnesota. So yeah, this look very kind of similar position that Minnesota is in this season. So remember how early in the season and how they got 2 wins in a row, and the Loons fans were just absolutely ecstatic, and then they were about to head on the road to play against a very good Eastern Conference team that is the Red Bulls, and they thought they were going to get 3 wins in a row, and it turns out they got absolutely destroyed 4-0 in that game. And it just feels like it's the same thing in this one, with Minnesota fans and certainly a lot of Loons fans are happy that their team is above the red line and they're currently have a 2-game winning streak, and now they're heading on the road against a very good Western Conference team that is LAFC, who, you know, despite the fact that they have looked human in the last couple of games, it's still LAFC, okay? And this, I expect LAFC to win this, and this is also certainly good news for my Quakes, because since Minnesota has a midweek game, they have to travel to the West Coast and then have to travel back for an early kickoff on Saturday. That is going to be really huge benefit to the Quakes. We're going to be more rested than what Minnesota is, and they'll probably get a big reminder in this game that, yeah, you have your good run, but it's time we're going to put the hammer on you and just put you back to reality right now. But yeah, that is pretty much all for the 5 games. Like I said before, I am not going to be doing the review until Thursday, and I'm actually going to also be doing the preview for match week number 11. It's kind of weird doing the review show and then do the preview at the same day. But yeah, let me know in the comments below, what do you think of this game? Make sure you leave your prediction for these 5 games in the midweek. And yeah, I hope you guys enjoyed this video, and I will see you guys next time.